Okay, so she's asking, should the average person have long-term care insurance? Uh, well, this is a great question. Matter of fact, I just had a situation with a client come up where she is uh, not doing spectacularly health-wise, uh, so she could end up in long-term care. She's had a long-term care policy for 15 years, and they keep increasing the cost. And the latest letter that she got was that they were going to increase the premium by 40%, which is unbelievable. And so what's happening, unfortunately, in the area of long-term care is more and more people are using it, and all of these insurance companies have been selling, the policies to younger people, like this lady 15 years ago when she didn't need it, and now a lot of those people are getting into, long-term care and they're having to pay out. So I think it's very fascinating. The best answer to that really is to take your financial plan, like we do, and put in long-term care costs, some projection. Like I say, 6 to 15,000 a month is probably a good range. And, pick a time period, how long it would last, and see what happens to your existing plan. And especially if you have, a spouse or significant other, how does that impact them? Does your plan still work or does it wipe it out? If it wipes it out, you really got to consider some way to protect that, and that would be the long-term care insurance. Even if it does cost something or a lot, it might be worth, protecting that other person. Um, but when you really look at, and then you can run the numbers, where you say, okay, now we're going to run a plan where we put in the cost of long-term care, we put in a really high increase on that cost for the rest of your life, and we reduce the, because long-term care insurance policies generally have a cap, certain number of dollars per day, total cap for the policy. You can get bigger amounts for more premium, obviously, but you manipulate that inside the plan, and you can tell whether or not a long-term care insurance policy is going to be a really good deal for you or not. And so, are you self-funded? In other words, do you have enough money so that really the policy isn't needed, it's not going to be a huge damaging situation, or do you need the light long-term care insurance policy to make sure that things work out? And there's just so many variables. You're single versus being, with somebody else. What happens to your home? Is that your long-term care insurance policy? You're going to rent it out and fill in the gap. So again, it's really fascinating area to take a look at, and it needs to be looked at fairly closely, early. Doing it at the last minute, you won't have as many choices. So getting that set up, once you're going into long-term care, that's probably going to be a really difficult time to get a policy, obviously. But that's a really complex area altogether.